Hello, dear ones, and welcome to collective reading number 10. The first one I'm gonna do live, so it's a new setting for me. Let me just adjust my mic so it's closer to me. Just give it here a bit of some adjustments. Okay, great, perfect, almost perfect. Yay. So yeah, I was called to do this reading live, even if nobody pops up, because I made it an unlisted live. But yeah, energies have been pretty intense. For some people are not even aware or like affected by whatever is going on above. So it's pretty interesting. Um, but the collective is raising its frequency. Not too much, but much more than I've ever read before. So we're still in the same frequency of fear, of course. That's where we're stuck, and it's not surprising because a lot of what's going on in the collective is actually a narrative or narratives, multiple narratives based in fear. So we're still there, but there was a big jump of 4 Earths, which is a lot for the collective, in these recent, these last days, just these last days. So we're gonna dive into the reading, and we're gonna start with the root. I'm very glad to see a root so harmonized for the collective. So I do feel there's a lot of embodiment happening. There's a lot of groundedness right now happening, and more people are being called to be present in their own reality, whatever that means for them. But yeah, let's see the message here for the root. And when I was called to do this reading, I always give a title to my readings, of course, so people know what I'm going to talk about or what the energy was about. And as this, usually I give that name of the reading after reading the energy. So this time I had to give a name before the reading, and I was a bit surprised because the name that the title that came through was death. So pretty interesting. Death means the end of something and the beginning of something else, right? And we know we are finalizing a cycle as a collective. And yeah, I'm just curious of what the message is going to be tonight, because yeah, how it correlates with it, right? But it's also the energy of death in the sense that we fear change. We fear the end of things, right? It was more in that sense, the energy that came through for the title of this reading, this fear of change. Yeah, this has been coming up a lot in readings. The energy of purity, the energy of purifying our life. And the more we do that individually and collectively, the easier it will get to flow with the cosmos, to flow with the trend of the cosmic energy, right? So there is this call to purify ourselves, purify the way we think, purify the way we feel, purify the way we act with integrity, with coherence, but also this idea that through the purifying of all our parts of self, of all our bodies, we can access, again, remember how to access our innocence and to create a new way of looking at life and the world. Okay, so there is really a change of perspective, right? And there is this need of purification and renewal. And so we can have a new look into this reality. So we can perceive things in a way that we won't repeat the past, basically. So we get out of loops, right? So right now, connecting to this purity, the purity of our essence, of our hearts, right, makes us access the quantum field, makes us access all possibilities. This is a very, very nice energy at the root. Great. Let's check out the sacral. The sacral continues blocked as a collective. We're not really manifesting anything right now, and that can be the things that are happening at a collective level. They're only unfolding from previous manifestations. Okay, right now we're like in a standstill. That's what I get. And you can experience this in your own individual reality by not being really able to put things into practice, or to put things into action, or like you want to make a decision but there's not really much options to choose from, things like that you feel stagnant, you feel stuck in a rut, basically. So this is one of the symptoms of a blocked sacral, right? There's lack of creativity, yeah, lack of diversity, because when we're like blocked on a sacral level, we don't see the options, right? Because we are not connected to our creative self, which is the part of self that creates options, creates the possibilities, access them. Okay, let's see what's the energy here. Yes, lessons. Great. We are definitely learning some lessons right now, fully. This energy I don't know if you guys can see. If I turn it too much to the light, she will end up reflect the light. But it's like Nemesis lessons. Okay. Um, we are going through a lot of growth, a lot of learning, definitely. Um, right now, we are in the process of accessing information. A lot of things are revealing itself to us right now. A lot of things are unfolding. Again, manifestations, previous manifestations that are right now expressing themselves in reality. And of course, this is all to for us to embrace, right? Because these lessons bring us growth, bring us wisdom. And there's also what I sense here for a lot of us, a lot of karma clearing. So it's pretty intense karmic cycles ending, and yeah, a lot of this need to purify, again, this idea of purification of life. So anything that is stagnant, anything that it's not any more beneficial for you, or it helps and expands your life and brings you joy, and just being productive, right? That's not growing, whatever, anything of this kind, especially karmic things, which are a lot of the times expressed as toxic relationships, toxic situations, toxic mindsets, beliefs, whatever. It depends on each person's reality, but all of these things must be purified, must be released right now. Let me see one thing. Okay, yeah, exactly. So, let me see more about this energy. This is what we need to do. To really trust the process, to really take a new look in the things that are happening to us, so we can really, really learn the lesson to move forward. Because when we don't learn the lesson and we move forward, um, well, we don't really move forward. We are just in the same loop, and we end up manifesting the same lesson, same experience, but in another circumstance or with other characters, other people. But one of the ways that we can see this is in relationships. For example, a lot of people end up relationships, and then they don't really get the lesson from what happened previously, and then they move on, they find another person, they start another relationship, and the same patterns, the same issues pop up. It's because that person didn't take time. We usually don't take time to analyze what went wrong. We tend to do the blame game, right? So we don't really take responsibility and try to evolve as an individual from what we experience with the other person. We tend to just point fingers and not look within, right? And then eventually we move on. We start other relationships, and they just reflect, like they repeat exactly the same things, not in really in the same way, because we then are different, and the people we connect, we resonate with and attract are not really the same as the people before, but it's very, very similar, because the wisdom needs to be embodied, needs to be perceived and embodied. Okay. Let me see here at the level of the sacral. Okay. Yeah. So this connection from our how do you say, our creativity, sorry. This disconnection from our creativity, it is creating, of course, a disconnection from life, from our ability to receive life, to to trust life, to yeah, trust life, and to just surrender to the processes, right, that we are going through right now in this purification of our experience, right? So there's a need to connect, really. It's very important right now that we connect to our life force, to our ability to feel into life, into the energy that breeds um, existence within us. It's very important right now to be present. Okay. A lot of people have this difficulty in realizing what presence means. And I understand most of us have very, very busy lives. And one of the things that are super important in order to gain presence is to simplify your life. So it is something most people don't want to do because we are so um, programmed to be on action mode, distraction mode, that when life asks us to stop, we don't want that at all. Like we don't even know how to be alone in silence, for example. It's very scary for most people. A lot of people reject that a lot. It's very uncomfortable. So we have our work, we have our friends, we have our family, we have our hobbies, we have whatever. And it's very hard to practice presence like that. So I do feel the universe is really calling us to this presence, to this stillness right now, in order to connect to the flow, to life force, right? In order for us to breathe, to be. Because it's the only way we can purify, really, is if we listen to our own voice, or to our own silence, let's say. And it's just that, just the way to do it is to, first of all, you simplify your life, and then you try it out to quiet down your life in order to really listen to you, to your essence. When we do this, we give energy to self. And this enables us to open new doors, because we are giving, like we are investing in ourselves instead of investing in going out with friends, or investing in traveling with our family. Or, yeah, I know it sounds very antisocial, but we're not talking about don't speak to people anymore in your life, or like, no, it's just to simplify, like choose with presence what you really want to do. And when you do it, even if that means like being with your friends, really be with your friends, in presence. Don't try to be there, but then you're on your phone, and then you're thinking about what to cook tomorrow, and that you didn't, you know what I mean? Just like really focus, really be present in anything you do. It's really a calling, I feel, to make room for yourself. Collectively speaking, this happened in a much in a forced way, I would say, like kind of like the God forced us to do this when the lockdowns hit with COVID, right? So we were basically we had to stop. We had to stop and be at home and really deal with ourselves and deal with our close relationships in ways that the busy day-to-day life that we were living before it didn't allow us to do, right? So that created a lot of change, a lot of space to connection to self, right? So I do feel God giving us here a nudge right now for us to do this by choice. It's a bit of a warning. I do feel this energy coming through as a warning. Do this. Do this now. Start to give time to yourself in quietness, in presence, in connection with your own energy, and in connection with the energy of the universe. Feel your breath, connect to it, right? Let me see here. Okay, let's move forward. I've talked a lot about what is here at the sacral. Let's look at the solar. The collective solar was blocked the last time I did a reading, which I don't know, was on the 2nd of April. And right now it is it is more flowing. It leveled up. There's definitely a better sense, and I do feel this energy is supported by the fact on like the astrology. We are already out of Mercury. We're still in the shadow, post shadow of Mercury retrograde, but it's not retrograde anymore, and we're also getting out of Venus retrograde. So a lot of this more flowy vibe, more active experience towards self is starting to pop up. So let's see what it's the message here. What is the advice? Hmm. Hmm. What I sense here is like this very interesting energy. We all know that there's a lot of energy surrounding this reading today about inspiration, becoming inspired. And of course, I think two collective readings ago, we talked about um, inspiration, like the inner fire, and resurrecting that inner fire in order to balance our lives, in order to feel ourselves, in order to find our purpose and walk our purposeful path. So right now there is a lot of this same idea, but in the sense that there are things that in this purification of our life that are still triggering us. There are things that are still hurting us. There are still getting a reaction out of us, right? In a negative way. Um, and there are, what I feel the message here is to be aware that those triggers that you might experience now, they are kind of like the doors to ourselves. Okay. So there is a lot happening in our reality. There is a lot individually happening also, because a lot of things are getting out, a lot of things are changing. We are being really forced to evolve, to change our ways of living. We are being asked to be more and more conscious, more and more uh, accountable for the way we create our reality. Okay. And there is a lot coming in. And if we are getting reactive towards it, um, it is a perfect opportunity to observe those reactions within you and try to understand, what is this showing me that I need to resolve within myself. Hmm? Because we know that this reality works as a mirror, right? And if there's something that is still affecting us on a core level, that is still triggering us in a very deep way, that's because we need to learn something from that experience in order to balance ourselves, in order to maybe see if this is triggering me. Do I have a wound here? Because usually it's like putting the finger in our traumas, in our wounds, right? The unresolved wounds. So we can learn from seeing where we are being triggered, right? And also, another thing that is here at the solar level is this idea that we are definitely maturing our ego. There is a part of ourselves that is dying. So another version of ourselves can be manifested, created, and materialized or embodied, right? So all these things like conflict, confrontation, competition, uh, any kind of power struggle, or yeah, I gave enough examples of this. All of that, all those uncomfortable situations and dynamics, they can be very good lessons to for us to grow, for us to feel more compassion for ourselves and others, for example, right? But we are in it, so we're gonna have our perspective shattered over and over if we want to attach to the way we see things right now. We are gonna be we are gonna have our beliefs shattered if we attach too much to them, because right now we are getting more and more the vision, the true essence of reality, instead of the distorted version that were programmed into, and that our life experiences and traumas um, thought us it was life was like. And also then that those traumas, um, and those beliefs and all those things were reinforced later in life because of our cycle, our loop manifestation based on our um, programmed conditioned beliefs. As like how do you say, the Horus Borus, right? Like the snake that eats its own tail. So I do feel the message here right now is that in order for us to gain the wisdom we need to gain, we need to access all the uncomfortable emotions that we still hold within so we can purify them in order to flow, right? Let's see what else is here for the solar chakra. Yeah. We are awakening. Definitely. And maybe not everyone needs to awake. And we do definitely have different rhythms, right? But we are being asked to get this new perspective, the perspective of consciousness, of presence. When you are awake, you are present, right? So, um, God is really calling us to embody our divinity, to prepare ourselves, to remember our power. So we must use all situations, all experiences, and look at them as lessons, as opportunities to grow and learn, right? Great. And again, this when the universe when the universe rings the bell, because this card that came out with the awakening is the bell card. When the universe rings the bell, we must listen. Again, this idea comes a bit the idea of warning. It's a very interesting message. Death is coming. The old system is dying. It's very very subtle how it pops up in our reality still, but we are being warned that it's happening. So it's like, yeah, prepare for it. Because before we didn't know, but now now we are much wiser. We went through a lot of stuff in these last years, right? And if you're here, you are awake and aware. And the other thing that comes through is really study. So the energy of, and I find it very interesting, two things. That it comes up the idea of the mirror, which I already talked about, the idea of the ego, which aguiasabia, the wise guide, the wise eagle. Portuguese, aguiasabia also can be signify a guia sabia, so the wise guide. The eagle is a very regal, royal energy, has a lot of wisdom. It can have a higher perspective, right? And the mirror. So I do feel the advice here is to use your higher perspective, your ego self, and to use the mirror. This reality is a mirror. Everything that you need to work on yourself is reflected back to you from all the external experiences you're having. I know we know this a lot in theory, but can you start to understand it in practical sense in every moment of your existence? How everybody is your mirror, how everything is just reflecting you, what you believe in, what you are thinking. And we need to have this knowledge. This study card is really for us to really have the knowledge. Knowledge brings wisdom with experience. And the difference between somebody that's asleep and somebody that's awake, the awakened person knows and has the opportunity to know even more, right? The sleepy person is sleeping. They don't know. Right? Anything else here? It was very important what is going on here at the solar plexus of the collective. Okay. Very important message. It's been popping up a lot in my work with clients and other stuff that I do, which is the here it says the familiar ally, right? And there's two message coming in. So right now, really choose your allies. really, in this purification of our reality, purification of our lives, we really must distinguish who is helping us and who is draining us and hindering our progress. Okay? It's very, very important that we use our discernment beyond our attachments, beyond our 3D human attachments. I'm going to give an example. There is a lot going on of this dynamics in families that we've been put up because it's our family. Oh, it's my mother. Oh, it's my father. What can I do? It's my mother. Like, I'm not gonna. But there's boundaries that we can set. There's things that we can adapt and manage in different ways so we are not consumed or used, manipulated, harvested. I don't know. There is a lot of this, like beyond the 3D, beyond attachment. Really observing who in your reality is helping you progress, evolve, heal, trust in yourself, love yourself, who is helping in that process and who is not. And for the ones that are not, create some boundaries. Manage those relationships, those dynamics in a better way, with the knowing that, okay, as much as I love this person right now, they take a lot from me. And this is not helping me in my process. So with love, I let you go. So with love, I'm not going to see you every day. So with love, I'm not going to talk to you on the phone every week. I'm going to maybe schedule something in person, more in presence, once a month. Just giving an example, okay? And then also the other message here, it's time to connect to your guidance, your higher guidance, your guides, your angels, your archangels, your ascended masters that are part of your team upstairs, as I say, in the higher dimensions, the beings of light, the ones that love you the most. We all have guides. I see a lot of people, right, saying like, oh, how do you talk to your guides? And I'm like, yeah, by talking. I talk to them. I have a relationship with them. But it was developed, right? Like any kind of relationship, actually. And there's a sense also of there is no hierarchy, let's say. Our guides are not high, like they can be in higher dimensions, but they're not, they're on the same level, like they're your team, but only in another dimension. We don't need to worship them, right? And take it or leave it, it's gonna resonate to a lot of people, I'm sure. Some others can be confused, but right now the message here is really talk to your allies and talk to your guides. Some of our guides um, are animals, like our spirit guides, right? Animals that we had before. For example, I know my cat Minnie, Olivia, she's one of my guides, definitely. Great. Yeah, I don't have anything to say here about this. But apparently, we have another message for the solar. So I just do what I'm told. I'm just a channeler of the message here. Yeah. Well, because we are rebirthing, right? We are. There is exactly this, what I said, right? Death is coming. Collectively speaking, we're going to see it happen in so many ways. And we do have the tendency to, when I say death, is like physical death, but it can be a death of a project, of a relationship, of a pet, of also people, definitely. Um, but we are so conditioned to fear it, to fear the end of something. But the end of something is always the beginning of something else, right? And it is uncomfortable. It is hard. Change is different. There was some reality, and now there's another reality, and we have to adapt. We have to transition from one to the other, and sometimes we have to grieve, right? And it must take time to do that, to do those processes. So we are here in for a rebirth, right? Because our the old ways of being, the old ways of doing, thinking, feeling, everything, they're gone. They're gone. They're just slowly decomposing, basically. That's what's happening right now. And we're going to see it happen. And the way our consciousness behaved, or how we accessed our consciousness, is starting to change. We are starting to change. And the more we allow ourselves in this purification, the more we allow ourselves to just release whatever was, the easier it gets. And change always brings challenges because it's different, because it's new, because we don't know. We are learning, right? When you start to to do something new, you're not an expert immediately, right? You need to practice, you need to try out stuff. So it's exactly the same with life and with this process we are getting into on a collective level, right? Great. Again, I feel there is some preparation that needs to be done. And I do feel that this purification will allow us to go through this process of death and rebirth in a much more smoother way. Okay, let's move forward. Let's go to the heart chakra of the collective. And I'm very happy to see this energy raising. Yeah, I don't know how you guys feel, but yeah, in your heart center, I definitely felt a lot in the last days. Yesterday, I even got like this feeling. Sometimes I have that very intense, like a drop in my chest area. Like I don't know how to explain it better than this. It's just like this. Um, like I'm falling out of a cliff and it's really high, and those when you fall in a dream and you just wake up, and it's a bit of the same thing, but here, and it's physical, like I felt it yesterday. um and it's always very intense when our heart works properly. It's always very intense when something hits the heart, right? Love, unconditional love, because we are not used to it. We are literally cut out from it in our lives since we are born. Even before we are born, we are already being cut off, programmed, conditioned to not have that access, full access to our heart center. So we are so closed off that when we start to open our hearts, it's, even if it's good, it's very, very painful, right? Oh, sorry. So, yeah. Okay. Again, there's the same message that popped up some I don't know, some weeks ago. Last time I read as a collective, or something else. No, I think it was on another setting. It was on a sixth house reading. Um, that we have this energy of the journey to wholeness, and this is it. This is was exactly what I'm talking about. Of this, like we're opening up our hearts, right? We are starting to feel more and more, and feel all the spectrum, right? We are, because we are becoming more and more, we are receiving more of our light, more of our energy, more of our essence. We are making this journey to self, to wholeness, right? And this is very intense on the heart, because the heart is like the bridge between the material and the etherical. And we are so disconnected from the etheric realms that it's very, very hard. And I was talking about the unconditional love, right? As we are not used to it, just a little bit of it sometimes even makes us feel scared. We fear it. But the message here is really for us to develop this level of love, of unconditional self love, like we are now. It's really the message that pops up a lot when we are doing inner work, because ultimately, what we need to learn is to love ourselves, right? So, loving ourselves means accepting ourselves as we are, with all our imperfections, right? And also with this idea that we don't know it all, and it's okay to not know everything. It's quite impossible to know everything. As a human being, we don't really have that capacity, physiologically speaking. But yeah, there's this need to understand that you are exactly as you should be right now, to accept ourselves, and to start to accept what we feel, honoring it, even if that makes us a little bit antisocial or weird. It kind of connects to the energy before of purifying your life, of taking care of yourself, of really seeing like what things are good for you, what things are not working for you, what people are uplifting you, and what people are not, and just make the necessary adjustments. Okay? Because sometimes we go against ourselves just to make people fit in our life or things to fit in our life. And then we're hurting ourselves. It's like, but why can't I be normal? Right? Because a lot of people have this. Why can't I be normal? Why can't I do this and feel good? I don't know, but you don't. You don't feel good. So why do you force yourself? Figure something else. There's so many things that we can do, right? It's very, very important right now to recognize this and allow ourselves to accept, honor how we feel, and adapt and care for ourselves. Really love ourselves. Nobody will do it better than you. And we really need that in order to access our potential. Because the only way we can change is to accept who we are right now. Great. Let's move forward. So, at the throat. Okay. So now we talk. Because throat chakra as a collective is came down quite a lot. And it is blocked. So let's see. What is the message here? A lot of us are not really expressing our truth. What is going on with our throats, with our expression, with our truth? Confusion. It's a bit of the I don't know the name of that story. I think it's a lot of illusion here. It's a lot of confusion, illusion, and again this idea of the warning. We need to wake up. We need to become alert to what is happening around us. The time of ignoring things that we already perceived, but we don't want to address them because it will make us look weird, stand out, or, even a conspiracy theorist or something. Or a spiritual weirdo. Something, I don't know. The time for that is gone. If we do not express what we know, what we believe in, and we live by it, by our values and our virtues. Because expression is not only talking, right? It's also what you do, it's also what you create in your life. So we need to make it coherent to what we know and believe in, right? The time for turning a blind eye and silence what we know and what we believe in, it's gone. Again, another warning. There is around this energy the following message. If you can already perceive something, if you can see beyond the illusion, the manipulation, the lies, the deceptions, and you don't say anything, you nod and you have conversations, or you just align with that narrative that you know it's not real, not not truthful, and you keep aligning with it just to not be, to not stand out, to not be the weird one, the black sheep. This is gone because you know the truth. And this world is totally inverted. The mainstream is totally corrupted. We all know this. And if we keep nodding, accepting, going along those narratives without calling them out, and just, yeah, to fit in, to be accepted by the ones that are distracted or like don't know, that are asleep, you know, it's going to create a illusion, a lot of dissonance. It's going to create a lot of dissonance in your life. So we must speak our truth. We must align our actions to our truth, despite how others perceive us for now. Because right now, things look in a certain way, but in 20 years, all the truth, I hope, will come out. Things will be really, really different, and things will be known, you know? There are a lot of things that people were totally called crazy 30 years, 60 years ago. And right now, we already know those people that were called crazy were right. You know what I mean? So Don't be afraid of speaking what you believe in, of speaking your truth. Okay? The more you do it, the more you align to the flow, to the life force, to the cosmic energy, to truth, to love. The more you do that, the more you enter new depths, new possibilities in your life. The more you do that, the more you will be willing to perceive, the more you'll access, actually, right? The more experience you're going to bring forth for you. The more you are in coherence with the truth, the easier you'll flow, you'll grow, you'll expand. Less resistance will be achieved. Great. You were warned. Okay. Third eye energy. It's quite good. Keeps being harmonized. We are accessing more and more and more our intuitions. A lot more people are really we it's a thing. It's gonna be a thing. Like, we know they exist. It can be proven, measured even. It's not woo woo. We do have an intuition. What we have here at the third eye. Come on. Come on. No. No. Okay. So, yeah, a third eye fully prepared for transformation, for transmutation of all of these perceptions, of these beliefs that are just useless right now. We are changing in a lot of ways, individually, and that is creating the collective shifts, right? We are going from a place of unconsciousness and unawareness, from a place of consciousness awareness. We are going from a place of density to a place of more um, ether like characteristics, to a more crystalline existence. We are leaving our old self. And in this, we need to really find our passion. We really need to connect to our free being, our wild self, our instincts, basically. There is this sense here in this energy of this death again, of a part of self, of part of our personality, let's say. And this is something really uncomfortable. It's weird because it's then when we are in this period of transitioning from what we were, and we already can feel who we are becoming, but we cannot really be one or the other. It's really, really weird. um but this is amazing. Okay. And the more we release our expectations, the more we clear our lives of all these things, we purify our lives, right? I will give this idea again. Okay. The more we do this, the more marvelous this transformation will be. The more we trust into the process, the more we release, the more we will enjoy the ride. You know, the more we relax into it, the more we will flow. And I understand a lot of it. It is very at a normal human 3D life level. It is very intense. It is very weird, overwhelming, right? But we are really being called to trust because it's very interesting because all these collective readings I read and the feeling starts like we have these warnings, warning, prepare and speak your truth. And the old system is collapsing and it's gonna be weird on the external and blah blah. But the overall, the core energy, the foundation of this shift is really loving. It's ridiculously good. When I tap into it and I get like this, like we're changing and the best is yet to come. It's just like this flood of wow, what a ride this will be, and we are here. We chose to be here at this moment, and it will be very chaotic, but it's so wild. But if you're really tap into the cosmic flow, you'll access all the possibilities. It's going to be easier to flow because you can see the options. You can be creative and co create with God in how you're going to navigate these incredible, challenging times. Yeah. If you don't like challenges, just I would advise you learn to love them because they're coming. We change, there's always challenge. There's always adaptation, that we must be flexible. We must be open minded, open hearted to navigate it. But it's just this becoming the butterfly, being reborn from the ashes as the phoenix. You know, it's very, very, very nice energy. And in order for us to do this, we really need to connect to our essence. We need to connect to our wild selves. We are wild, we are nature. The inorganic system has tried to, and it's still trying, of course, to domesticate us, to imprison us, to diminish us, right? To weaken us so we can be controlled. But we have so much potential. We are amazing beings, really. It's ridiculous how amazing we are. Hmm. It's such an amazing energy of creation, like, because if you really access that, we can create in ways that we were never able to create. Seeing the message here still for our third eye. We really have to perceive this more and more and more. We do have the capacity to create our reality. That's how this construct works. But we really need to be conscious on what are you trying to create in your reality. What we put out comes back to us. What we believe in, we're going to create. So what again, what are your beliefs? Are they serving you? Because right now we have the opportunity. The energy is conducive, is beneficial for this to really manifest in ways that we've never manifested before. So that's why the purifying, so we can really know the core of our energy and we be really clear on what we are putting out, on what we are trying to create from what stands from within us, right? Like your essence will determine what you're going to create. If you're vibrating in fear, probably you're going to create experiences that will make you make you deal with your fear. Because that's how this reality works. It responds on whatever we need and we want to learn, grow, expand from, right? So, yeah, be very, very aware because in this process of transformation, transmutation, we are clearing ourselves for this amazing new way of being, this amazing new way of experience this reality, and in that, creating it. So we must be very, very conscious on what we are trying to create. Okay, let's finalize almost looking at the crown, which it became stagnant. It elevated the frequency, but it's stagnant now, which is very interesting. Wow. Yeah, exactly. We're basically just remembering things. Unlearning and remembering things. Unlearning, deprogramming, and remembering things. And it's funny because we have our prudence once a month, and yeah, you can only access it if you're a member of the Aguiasabia on Patreon. Any kind of member has access to prudence. Prudence is the first tier of the Patreon. Um, so you have access to all the free content we've put there, and also to the Prudence Monthly, which is a gathering webinar basically where we talk about our experiences, and sometimes me or Mats, we share some knowledge that we feel called to share. And this last time Mats talked about time and the calendar, um, how it was created, and we were talking about this, like that basically we are here in this cosmic, great cosmic cycle, just to remember our essence, remember who we are. It's not that we're becoming something we've never been. We're becoming more of ourselves, right? The same idea before as we had here with the energy of the journey to wholeness. We are becoming whole, like getting more and more of our soul within, right? So it is very important. The message here is the same. It's very important to prepare. It's very interesting because whenever I say prepare, or it's a warning, prepare, it's really, it's like, it's kind of, our programmed human selves are like so afraid of this, but I just hear them saying, like my guides, saying like death is coming. 22, 22. And my clock. But it's for healing, it's for our growth. So it's really important that we raise our vibration, that we meditate, that we focus on our purpose, that we quiet, that we enter into stillness, right? That we be present, that we follow our hearts in integrity, with coherence with our intuition, that we start acting upon it. And that we remember who we are. Who we are. Mm. We are love. This is our essence. This is where we are being called to return. This is how we are being called to respond to the process, to life. And if we do that, if we choose love, then it's interesting because on the April energy, I finished like, what will you choose, right? Love or fear? If we choose love, everything good will follow. Maybe not everything that the inorganic system says that it's good. But what will follow? Psychism. We are and we will, if you choose to follow your heart, if you choose to follow your intuition. surrender to this transformational process, you will develop your psychic abilities. You will connect to your crystalline self. You will activate your DNA. You will transform. You will ascend, basically. You will remember your ancient self, your past lives, all the wisdom that you gained as a soul will be accessed in this lifetime. This is the big shift that is available to us as souls in this moment in time here on this planet. We will gain access to our powers. This is what's coming if we choose love, our sovereignty, our superpowers. So protect yourselves, be discerning, be patient, be aware, speak your truth, purify your life, choose. We are doing this. And the things that need to fall out from our lives, that need to go, they will go, because we are growing, and we basically are over outgrowing a lot of things in our lives. We need to integrate all of this. So we need time. We need space. We need to be quiet, to be present with self. There's a lot also with this energy here of the power, right? They represent it with the serpent. And there's also this energy of like the temptations and distractions, right? So that's why you have the pentacle there behind a cat for protection, right? Discern. Don't let yourself get tempted, distracted, knocked off your path. It's going to be a very big one. Oh, we need this experience, and it's through experience that we have access to our wisdom, right? If you have the knowledge, you have the experience, you access your wisdom. We need this, and we need all parts of self in order to have the experience. We need to accept all parts of self, to bring all parts of self to the experience. We need to be open to the experiences that are coming to us, even if they are challenging. What will you choose? We are returning to self. We are remembering who we are. There's nothing to fear. because the cosmic flow is bringing us back to love. Okay? So we must reconnect to magic. We must reconnect to beauty. Okay? We are able to do this. Again, the idea of the mirror. See, she's holding a mirror. Oh, Jesus. And a crystal ball. And again, it's very funny. It's like we have. Where was it? I know there was another rabbit. Yeah. Go to your rabbit holes. Follow the white rabbit. Follow your instincts. Follow the message. Follow the synchronicities. Everything is connected. Nothing is random. The more you see the unity in everything, the connection with everything, the more you'll understand, the more knowledge, the more experience you will call to yourself, and the more wisdom you will access if you go through them by choosing love. I'll just do this whole deck. But they want me to take another card for the crown. Oh, Jesus, it's a lot. Is it? Yeah, exactly. So, again, reinforcing this, and we know, like, it's not an inverted. Don't be scared of the symbology of this, because a lot of people look at the five-pointed star and just like freak out. Oh, she's a Satanist. It's like, no, it's like, it's not inverted. Inverted is a representation. This is for protection. Protect yourself. One of the ways we protect ourselves is also by connecting to our higher guidance, following our intuition, seeing the synchronicities, seeing the signs. Right? We must protect ourselves. We must discern. The time for this doesn't make sense is gone. Okay? Great. Okay, let's finalize. 2 last messages from the higher chakras. So, our soul star. What do we have here for a message from our soul star? Which is blocked, by the way. It's interesting. This chakra, collectively speaking, it's not flowing at all. So let's see. What is the advice? What is the message for our soul star? I'm gonna go again. Okay. Hitting an hour and 30 for the ones that went through all of this with me. Wee. Of course. I love it. So this is from usually I use another deck, but today, for the purposes of this blocked chakra, I use the Cosmic Guidance Oracle deck. And it says, what? Let go. Let go, relax, and release. So, yeah, for this last one, I'm gonna read what she has here, more or less. Sometimes, yeah, I read just what they tell me to read. So it says, if you relax and release, you will see that it puts you through tremendous spiritual growth. Michael Singer. Okay. Singer. I don't know. This card feeds the lotus flowers floating in a river. If you are looking at this card right now, which you are, there is something in your life that you must let go of. You know exactly what it is. Something happened in the past. This is still bothering you today. It is on your mind, eating at your precious energy. Or maybe you think something will happen in the future and you're wasting your energy thinking over all different outcomes and problems that might never come true. Relax, release, return to the present. That is the message behind this card. Do not dwell on the past and do not worry about the future. The past already happened and future might not even happen. The present is only the real thing you ever experience. This tension is not serving you in any way. It will not make things better. You don't want it in your heart. Let go of it. Wow. And then the exercise she gives here is physically let go by decluttering your room and cleaning your space, getting rid of things you don't need or use. Meditate with an intention to relax and release all that no longer serves you. And the affirmation she gives is I release all negative thoughts of the past and all worries about the future. I am fully present in this moment. Great, great, great. And for the stellar chakra, we're also going to do something different today. Apparently, because I didn't know. Now they're telling me. I'm going to take a card from the stellar visions and see what is the message that will finalize this reading for the collective. Let go. Let it die. Death is coming anyway, so just let it go. Release. Let it go. What is the last final message for this reading? Please. Well, it's two. It's two. Two. Okay, two then. A lot, of course. Okay, great. We're in Taurus season, right? So, next, what comes? Gemini. So, came out the Gemini card, which is interesting. I do feel it is a message for I'm seeing here for the next season. But let's see. And then we have Venus, which is stopping to be retrograde, which is nice. Let's see. So for Gemini, these two messages. Curious. Inspirations. Move around. Learn to adapt. Appreciate multiplicity. Don't forget to breathe. I like. So it says, be flexible and allow yourself the latitude necessary to adapt, as staying nimble can help you shift a challenge into an opportunity. When you get this card, enjoy a little of this and a bit of that, may be more rewarding than opting for a single choice. Similarly, looking at a current situation through different lens will give you the ability to access varying viewpoints. When seeking an answer, survey a variety of sources, weaving together a tapestry of understanding from the spectrum of information you gather. While your mind may take precedence over your heart right now, make sure that rationality doesn't fully crowd out emotionality. If you're feeling nervous or agitated, focus on your breath or take a few minutes to meditate. Affirmation: my mind is bright. And the question, what am I really curious about right now? And then Venus. Oh, Venus before. Attraction. Inspiration. Value yourself, discover love, invite in pleasure, appreciate beauty. Relationships can be a conduit to progress, perspective, and pleasure, notably with those who are aligned with our values. Ponder love, what it means to you, how it shows up in your life, and the way it impacts the choices you make. When you draw this Venus card, it's also a moment in which surveying your assets will amplify your wealth. Jesus Christ, I'm sorry, I'm tired. And if you've been selling yourself short, now's the time to really own your worth and invest in yourself. Additionally, invite more art and beauty into your life. We just have this magic and beauty, right? I said. Um, and this will lead to greater enjoyment while also helping you discover a creative solution to a current challenge. If you're in the midst of indecision, tune in to where your natural affinity lies and then move forward in the direction that has the greatest magnetic pull. The affirmation is I am beautiful, and the stellar reflection is how can I invite in more pleasure? And that's it. That's it for this reading. I hope it helped you guys. And yes, we're continuing Temperance Temple. We're gonna have a very interesting um, session gathering next Monday, where we're gonna work on the seeds of trust. If any of this resonates with you and you want to try and just connect to like minded individuals that are just here to learn, gain wisdom, explore spirituality, knowledge, philosophy, everything, energy, wisdom, reach out. Check out our Patreon. We have a lot of content there. Me and also my partner Mats with his fortitude. Very interesting work also he does on a mental and physical level. And yeah, I hope to see you soon. And thank you so much for watching. If you feel like there's somebody else that will benefit from this reading, please share, like, it always helps me, the likes. And yeah, subscribe to our channel so you can get more of our videos. Thank you so much. Have a good night. Bye.